Alright guys, we're going to do a deck profile of Herb's Mermail and Atlantean deck. He updated it for on the release of Judgment of the Light, right?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. So he was able to get a tech card. You'll see it around halfway through the monster engine. But it definitely it works well with the deck, and I think this deck it just works pretty well all around. It's pretty consistent. Alright, you want to start out?
Alright, yeah, I'll start. So right now we got two Megalo.
Why do you run two? Most people run three.
I run two because right now the deck space is really limited. I run 43 cards, and honestly, it's a money issue too. So for now, two.
Alright. But they're rare, right?
No, they're good, man. They're good.
Alright.
We run three Vistius.
Yeah, obviously one
That's
of the most powerful searchers in the deck.
It's one of the best cards in the deck. One lead. You only need one.
Why one lead over the third Megalo? Like, if you were to have the third Megalo, would you replace the lead?
No, because it's a good card. It's 2700 attack. It gets over a lot of things. His effect that most people actually do not use is actually pretty good. If your opponent only has one card in hand and you're worried of what that may be, you could, if you have a spike that's useless on the field, you can use an effect to tribute the spike and discard the card from your from your opponent's hand.
Yeah, and even when you're going first turn, if you want to go for a first turn Gaios and you have a dead Mermail, you can discard a card from their hand and just get an idea of what they're playing.
For the most part, yeah.
And then like before you go into the next XYZ, like if you find out what your opponent's playing, you have a better understanding of what XYZ you can go into.
Yeah.
Alright,
so that's the lead. Then we got three Pike.
Why three Pike? I know it's pretty much staple in mono Mermail and Mermail builds, but since your build is a little bit different, like why do you run three Pike?
Three Pike is really good in the deck just because, I mean, it's a really good card in general. You get a search in any level 3 water monster, that's really crucial in this deck, especially in this build, because there's a lot of things that you could search.
Yeah, more than the average.
The average thing deck.
And then anyone who's familiar with Judgment of the Light probably knows what water monster we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll get to that further. So,
alright.
Spike, just really good card. This is obvious. You need three Lindy.
Three Lindy's just busted.
You need three ulti Lindy. You need three ulti.
It's stable.
Stable
ulti Linds. Yeah.
Then we got two Gundy.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I've actually seen some people run 3 and 1 of these. Do you think that two Gundy is just the right balance, or do you just run two Gundys just because of deck space is limited?
Two Gundys is right balance because 3 is way too cloggy. However, 1 I think is just. It's too little because sometimes it's good opening with this card depending on your hand. You could open really broken for the most part at times. And 2s are really good because sometimes you want to search it later on in the duel.
Shut up.
Excuse me, sir. Appreciate some silence, please. Thank you. Because you can search this card later on in the duel and it becomes it could win games for the most part, and it's good in the beginning of the duels as well, so it's a good card. But you don't need 3.
Yeah, and it has a lot of synergy also with Tidal.
Tidal, that's the thing.
Goes into, you can go into turn 1 a lead, into a discarding.
Yeah.
And also, if you only run one of them, and if you want to push for game.
Yeah, exactly.
This, if you don't have it in hand or if you already used it, and if you don't have a salvage, that really limits how much you can spam the field and spam those rank 7s. I think that's one of the biggest things. If you have a level 7 in the graveyard, ditch it with Tias, that's a instant rank 7 right there.
Yeah.
So I've tested the deck myself, so I know for a fact that two Gundy is a pretty good balance. Depending on the build, but for the most part, two Gundys is always good.
Yeah. Also, the Gundy Archer combo is pretty good too.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Alright, so next 3 cards. 3 Dragoons.
Yeah,
that's
stable. No explanation.
Nah, not really. Maybe they're
If they get hit, it'll be a sad pan.
That'll be sad.
Other than that, the deck will still be great. It'll still survive.
It's one amazing card.
Yeah.
Then 3 infantry.
Alright, we're getting into the Lanians with the Dragoons.
Lanian part of this deck.
Why do you run a triple infantry over a triple marksman? Because you run a triple infantry and a 2 marksman. What's the rationale behind that? Like I know that we're not seeing a lot of backer, but with the new format coming up, you know, we can expect to see backer reliant decks. Are you gonna change it for the new format, or are you just gonna keep it like this?
Potentially, I'll probably change it for the new format. Literally switch it the opposite direction, as in running 2 and 3 marksmen. But for now, 3 infantry is pretty good. Like you said, this meta requires 3 infantry and 2 marksmen, but only time could tell to see what's actually gonna happen, because we still gotta see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and even then, Ophion and Evil Storms are still a
yeah,
problem,
exactly.
So, and this is a one card. This is a one card out, especially with other discard outlets. They have like
exactly
Tidal, Archer, and Pike.
Yeah.
So it just opens up a lot of plays,
yeah.
especially when you need to remove a problematic monster.
Yeah. So yeah, that's infantry. Then we got 2 marksmen.
Yeah, alright, that's self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory, such a good card. Then we got, right from Judgment of Light, we got Fishborg Archer.
Alright, explain what this card does.
This card does, I'll actually just read the effect to you. If this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters during either of your main phases, you can discard 1 water monster, special summon this card from your graveyard, but destroy all monsters you control at the beginning of this turn's battle phase, except for water monsters. You can only use the effect of Fishborg Archer once per turn.
Yeah, and the fact that this is a level 3 water monster just adds a lot of synergy with the deck, because you can search it with Pike, and then pitch it with another monster, and then you can, next turn, if your opponent like dark holes or gets rid of your entire field, you can ditch, get this out of your game and just
ditch Gundy.
Go plays.
Exactly. If you, depending, like, you run infantry, marksman, and Gundy, so if you have a full grave, Gundy will be really useful. Marksman, if you want to get rid of a set, it's really good. And if same thing as infantry for the face-up cards, and you don't have to worry about summoning a monster in case you're worrying it's a bombless or whatnot, or
a
warning, anything like that, because
it's a cost.
So that's what makes one of the things that makes Archer really good.
And it's also, it gives outs to Ophion too.
It gives it an out to Ophion for sure. And it just makes Mermails in general just more synchro compatible.
It gives you an extra tuner.
And it makes it a lot easier to string for level 6 and level 7s, which you'll see in the extra deck pretty soon. Right. And the reason you only need 1 of Archer is because it's so searchable in the deck, because you got Pike, you got Tidal, and you only need it in the grave, so 1 is the only
thing you don't really need to run more of these. No. But definitely I've already helped them playtest this deck. We've already done a good amount of matches. Yeah. And I can attest to the fact that this card is very compatible with the Mermail engine, and also with synchro plays and everything like that. You can go into Gagnir and just open up a lot more plays.
Yeah, I didn't personally go to sneak peek myself. I got this off trade.
You got it at Carl's Jr.
At Carl's Jr. YCS Carl's Jr. right by Frankenstein's. If you guys haven't checked out Frankenstein's, check it out. One of the best places to go if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, I guess, even comic books, everything. Just check it out. It was funny because the guy only had 1 Archer, but he bought at least random 15 packs. He had 15 packs or something like that. But 1 Archer.
Did Frankenstein's pay to advertise?
No, it's just a really good thing. It's just really good. Saves you some money, get good deals. A lot of pro players have shops there actually. So yeah. Let's go to actually 2 or 3 pro players.
Oh yeah, you still have the titles.
Yeah.
Or the divas in the title.
The divas is next actually.
Yeah, self-explanatory. 2
divas, self-explanatory. You don't need 3. 1's obviously way too little, but 3, I find it way too cloggy. Diva's searchable, that's what's good about it, and if you open up with it, obviously, it's amazing. So
and you can recycle them.
You recycle them, and yeah, it's a good card, clearly. And then titles.
Yeah, obviously it's a staple.
Obviously it's a staple in this deck. Good card. Avarice, you have heavy grave. You have you need avarice. I mean, you don't need it, but I recommend it. It's a really good card. Recycles, well, especially when you top deck this late game. It's really good. Draw 2 cards. I mean, this card should be banned probably. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
What the fuck? Yeah, we just dropped something.
You're gonna wake up DG right now.
I know. Damn, he's a heavy sleeper too. Shit. Alright. Alright, now, so yeah, now Heavy Storm, oh, by the way, that was,
Staples.
yeah.
Just Staples. So.
That's 28 monsters, by the way, just letting you guys know. Heavy Storm, the reason I run this card is because, like, no shit. Monster Reborn staple. Dark Hole stable. MST, you only need 1 this format.
And even if that.
Even if that's like the other ones. Salvages, I run 2 because it's really good for overall. It's just really good card. You only need 3. It's way too cloggy. Yeah, 1 is too little in my opinion because this card is just really good.
Yeah,
it gives you hand control.
Yeah, it's one of the best +1s in the deck. Yeah, by far.
By far. Lance, I love Lance. Lance is such a good card. Reason for Lance, it's because when you're trying to summon a TS or Megalo, if they try to bomb, let's say, oh yeah, Lance screws them over. Eventually, you could go into your Guile, Dracosax, number 74, Big Eye, whatever. It just it gives you more outs to things. No explanation for this. Spear, 3 spears, almost best trap in this deck. 2 bottomless. I find myself needing 2 bottomless is because I just found myself not sometimes with so a little bit of traps in the deck. I just need something to destroy a monster or a dweller, whatnot. It's just a good card if you need to get rid of something.
Yeah, and really it also makes your opponent scared of MSTing into a sphere.
Yeah,
so if they don't,
it's a good bluff because they really don't know. Especially in this deck, they just assume it's a sphere, so they'll feel safe. And then bottomless. All right, yeah. Okay. And then Judgment's final card in the main deck. Judgment because
it's Judgment. Yeah,
it's Judgment. It negates anything. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it helps you go for the LTK, feel more safe and whatnot.
Yeah, I personally don't like it, but yeah, I can see why you.
I love it.
All right, extra deck. Just run through this.
Obviously, 2 Guiles, staple in the extra deck. I don't think I need to explain that. Dracosac, I don't need to explain that. We got the Big Eye, same thing
Busted.
with the Busted.
Busted as hell.
I'll just take anything you bring. Number 74, Master of Blades, one of the newest cards.
One of the more powerful XYZs in this deck, especially against
really good.
certain decks. Where
certain decks, for the most part, really good against Fire Fist, really good against Insectors, really good against the Dragon Ruler matchup.
Exactly.
It's really good.
If they don't have a blaster to summon from grave to beat this over with, they're gonna have a problem. Because if they go for a Dracosac or anything like Big Eye, they can't really do much with those cards. But so yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the more important rank 7s for next format.
Dweller because
it's
Dweller. It's a water. Really good. Mermails I believe are going to be coming back, even though they really never left. I run 1 Maestro just for the stall if I need it. Leviathan, now really no explanation. We got Gachi, Crimson Blazer, no explanation. Gun Gear, because Archer just makes it easier to play, and this card is amazing. You could ditch anything basically in this deck, and since you're running Infantry, Marksman, and Gundy, it opens up so many plays.
Yeah, and then one thing that a lot of people have to realize is the fact that a lot of people dropped Gun Gear in the Mono Mermail build because Genesis Controller was one of the main tuners for the deck. It's a little bit tricky to get Gungnir off in a Mono Mermail without the Archer, because you usually need a level 3 tuner. So now that he has the Archer, it makes level 7 synchros a lot more live.
Wouldn't be surprised if this card rose in price a little bit.
Yeah.
Black Rose because it's Black Rose, and then we got DeLorean, really good card. Like I said, it's just easy to make now with Archer, and then you still got Diva, of course. Really good card. Depends on what you could bring back your Marksman to your hand. You could bring back a Sphere. It's a really good card.
Yeah, busted plays.
Busted. Catastor, because it's one of the best level 5s in the game. Probably the best level 5 synchro in the game. And Armor helps you go to the OTK, helps you get over really big beater monsters, and the piercing damage, or like the burning damage is just freaking amazing. And then tokens for Draco, you need that.
Alright guys, so this is Herb's Mermail / Archer deck. With Judgment of the Light coming out, we're expecting to see Archer become a very common tech among Mermail and Lanyon decks. So but yeah, definitely this is with Judgment of the Light coming out today, we decided it would be a good idea to profile this deck, and one of our friends over there just knocked the hell out. Alright guys, yeah, this is Herb's Mermails, and later.